Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. My name is June Leindecker, and I am with Red Daisy Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of San Antonio, Texas, and I'm excited to be here today to play with the November paper pumpkin wrapped in cheer. And we are going to create a couple of alternate projects with that kit. And it's a really cute kit that has some really cute boxes that are about this size, so they're basically about a half an inch deep. They open up like this. A gift card goes in there. You could also put in a little bit of candy in here, maybe like a Ghirardelli chocolate, maybe some Hershey little, the little mini size ones. Hi, Wanda. Let's see what fits inside of here. I have a few candies that I have gotten, so let's see what works inside of here right now. So I have some of these little Hershey's. Those fit perfectly. Let's see how many you can put in here. I'm going to guess almost 4 of these, because if we turn it this way, you'll see. Now you can see you can get 4 of those in there. There's still actually room for a gift card on top of that. So you have that. That would work. I don't think a little Hershey's or a little Reese's cup will fit, but let's find out. Oh, that might fit just fine. It's a little bit higher than that closure. I think these little Rolos also are a little bit tall, so they're maybe just right. So I think there's a lot of options that you can use to decide what's going to go inside your little kit or your little box. And then there's these beautiful tags that the kit makes. You have 2 different designs. We made those last week, so if you wanted to see that, you can go to my YouTube lives and you would be able to find that video from last week. So let me move that out of the way. And so we are in the subscription period for the December paper pumpkin, and that one is called Watercolor in Bloom. And it is this one right here. We also still have, I think, the Abundant Joy dies. They're the add-on dies. After 8. I'm not sure what you mean, Wanda. What did I say that made you reply after 8? Oh, so you got some snow today. I've been seeing a lot of snow across the country. Oh, the mints. You can fit 8 of the mints. Nice. Those little Andes mints, you think? Because I like those. Nice. Yeah, I think you can get a lot of different things inside these little boxes. So I'm, think it's a little bit of a challenge to kind of figure it out, right? Like, what does your people like, and what can you put inside there, or what do you want to share with a friend, kind of a thing. So but today we're going to make some cards using some of the elements from the kit, but I am also going to bring in some additional items for us to play with. So let me move some of my things out of the way, and I'm going to put us down to the table. And so here we go. And let me just move that out of the way for now. So we're going to start with a little bit simple. We're going to just start with a basic beige card base. And I am bringing in the Traditions of Christmas DSP paper. And so I'm not sure if you've seen this before. I'm guessing you have, because it's been talked about quite a bit. I think there was an online course that Stampin' Up! Offered with this paper and the stamps that go with it, but really beautiful foiled flowers and nice pattern designs that has some dots and stripes on it. This one is gorgeous, different poinsettias, secret C in a stripe right here. This gorgeous poinsettia paper right here with the gold foiling is absolutely stunning. And then you have a little bit of a plaid on the back of there. And then of course this one is even more beautiful in my opinion. And we have a little fun plaid on the back. And then, did I already show? No. So this one, just another different design of the florals, and another pattern of secret C. And then we have, this one has red dots on the back, and these beautiful pink poinsettias are on here. So this paper is really stunning, and I think it works nicely with the kit. So we are going to be bringing that in today. And so I have a card base here that is 5.5 by 8.5. I have scored it at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and burnish this. And then I have already cut a piece of that DSP here. We're going to use this side with the secret C, and I don't know if you can see that, but they're like little tiny circles with dots. It's a gorgeous paper pack, Susan. How are you today? It really is a beautiful paper pack. And then I am going to be bringing in some of the elements from the kit. And I have some of the die cuts here that I'm not really sure yet what I want, but I just want to have them handy because we're going to kind of play as we go here. But I took some of the DSP because the stamp set that goes with that DSP also has some dies that you can use to cut out the DSP. So this is one of the elements you can get. There's like a whole sheet of this where you can cut out these beautiful little flower arrangements. And then there's also one that we'll be playing with here as well, where you can cut out this beautiful spray of flowers. And so there's different, where is my, so there's different colors of this. I guess I have it with the other card that we're gonna make, but this is really beautiful too. And then I also die cut some of the leaf pieces that are in the die set. I have a bit of a mess here, but let me see if I can clear out some of my mess so I can show you the dies, because I think they're pretty spectacular. I'm going to drop them. So you have all these dies here that come with that go with this stamp set. This is beautiful. This is a great die right here. I know it's cold. It's cooler today. It's so nice, isn't it? Nice, awesome. And then there's some other coordinating pieces. There's a cute little bow, some berries, and then some of the other smaller pieces, there's dies to cut that out. But here's also some holly leaves and things like that. So really a nice set. And we're not going to stamp any of that, but I am using the DSP to kind of what I would say cheat a bit. and use some of these elements that are, so easy to just grab a hold of. So we have these beautiful big leafy pieces, which I think are pretty cool. And I did cut that piece on the two-tone old olive. So I don't know if you can see that there, just a little bit of a different color. Maybe you can see it better on here, how the two-tone is. And so we're gonna bring in some of that, I think. And of course, we have the tag piece from the kit. And then I have this beautiful flower piece. So I think we're going to use one of these. I'm trying to decide, do I want the red flowers or the blue flowers? I think I want the blue flowers just to pull out the secret C a bit. I had leftover paper, and so I just decided just to cut a little small sprig from this. So just showing you some of the things that you can do. And so we have this piece of DSP that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. That's going to go on here like so. And then we're going to use this tag as a part of our card element. So it's going to come down from there. And we are going to have our flowers going right on to that. But I'm trying to decide, because I think it would be nice to add in maybe some of these other elements from the card kit. Now, that might be nice to do that side, because it's the basic beige color. To bring that out, that might be really nice if we did that, because I think I want it that way. I think I like that. I don't know. Let's see. Can you see that very well? I think that looks really good. I don't know if let's also look at it the other way with the mossy meadow here. I feel like that gets a little bit lost on here with the darker colors. I think I like it with the other side up. So we're going to do that on here. I'm going to move that out of the way. I also have a little piece of the DSP with this little flower that I thought we might add down here. We're going to have to fussy cut that out. Okay. And then we do need a little bit of a sentiment, and I feel like that should be coming in down here. So let's see what we have on our sentiments again. So I think the Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas will fit on there. I think we'll do Merry Christmas on here. So let's just get a block here. All right, and I'm trying to remember. Our ink spot is the mossy meadow, so we have that here. And let me get my foam mat out. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and stamp the Merry Christmas on here and get that taken care of, and then we can put our card together. But I just wanted to show you like how you can bring in some other elements that you might already have. If you're like me and you grab a lot of the beautiful, beautiful supplies that Stampin' Up has for us, then you may have some of these other things already at your fingertips. Now, I I am also thinking here of all the things that I want to consider. So because we have the hole up here, I may go ahead and wrap some linen thread around here. Let's see, I think I have it here, just to give it a little bit of additional element. And so I am going to use my seal for that because I want to hold that dot in place. And I'm not really going to do any tying, like a bow of any sort. I'm just going to wrap this around so that we get three lines of the linen thread up here. And then I am going to snip that off. And that way we just have that little added interest at the top of our little tag here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start to put this together. So again, this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm just using my multi-purpose liquid glue. I know it's so hard to glue down such a beautiful beautiful piece of paper, but that's what we do when we make cards. We use things that we have 2 different sides. We take it all into consideration. We just use it all up. Okay, so we're going to add this on to our card base, but I am going to use a couple dimensionals. So I have the little mini dimensionals because we don't need a lot. And I'm going to put 2 at the top here. Again, I just want to get my little string tacked down. And then I am going to put 1 right down here at the bottom. Because I'm going to add the flowers on top, and I'm probably going to use dimensionals for that. And so I want to keep it a single layer as best as I can. Oh, let me get this out of the way. This is from the other day when I was doing my Black Friday sale. I don't know if any of you were able to catch that. I think I remember Wanda was there. All right, there we go. So that was kind of in the way. All right, I'm just putting this right at the top of the secret C there on that side like that. And then this piece, we are going to do something that I like to do with my glue dots. And the ones that came in the kit are teeny tiny. So I'm going to grab my regular roll of glue dots, and I'm going to just roll some of these up into a ball. And I'm going to stick them on to some of the leaves. And I consider this like a even smaller dimensional because it's going to give it a little bit of lift. But I don't need it to give it a lot of lift. I just want it to give it a little bit of a shadow onto our card. And this way we can get that done by just having this little glue dot rolled up. Okay, so let's just do 1 more here. And then I am going to put 1 on to that piece. We're just going to add 1 in a flat nature. All right. And again, this is going to just go on here. And I am kind of letting it go off the page, or I'm sorry, off to the right is what I'm trying to say. And there you go. So now you can see, like, it gives it a little bit of a lift there, which I think is perfect. All right, so now we are going to add our flowers, and I'm going to cover up this with the bow at the bottom of here. And so I'm just going to use a dimensional there, and I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals right there to put this onto the card base. And again, these dimensionals are not going to interfere with any of the other dimensionals that we added. So we're still only one layer of dimensionals on the card. So should not have any issues going through the post office. Okay. So just love that. You know, you could even come in and put a little bit of Wink of Stella onto that basic beige leafing pieces, and just do a little bit of a touch on there, just so they have a little bit of additional interest to them. So yeah, just a little bit. But I think that that adds a little bit of glitz to that piece of it. Okay. Then we have our little Merry Christmas, which we're going to add it right here. So I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals and put them out on this edge. Okay. And then I am going to use just a tiny bit of seal at the edge here, because that's going to get tacked down on to this label. I'm just kind of tucking that in behind the bow here. Okay. And so there you have that. All right. Now, if you had some gold twine or that gold trim, or even if you still had some around, because I do not think it's active right now. But I don't know if you remember that gold thread. I think that would look really beautiful on here. But what a simple little card. And we just use some of the elements from the kit to create that card. Okay. All right. So the next card is a little bit more involved. And I'm going to kind of be referring to some instructions, because I want to I didn't have time to create one beforehand, and I don't want to mess up. This is called a double Z fold. Okay. And so we are going to need to do some scoring on our card bases. Oh, I totally forgot. I did want to add one more thing that I mentioned. So I'm going to just swing back around to this, because I do want to add this. So this is just a little piece from the DSP that I said we were going to fussy cut this little poinsettia out and add it to the front of the card. So let's just do that really quick. And I'm cutting pretty close to it. I don't want to have a lot of excess white edge showing, but there will be some. All right. And I think it's a nice little addition. Now you could even, if you decided like, oh, I don't want that on the front, I like it how it is, this would be pretty added to the inside of your card as well. Okay. So I wanted to add that right down here like that. So, and then now that I'm seeing it, I could actually add it right here, or on this side down here. Nope, I'm going with my original plan. And I am just going to glue this on. So I'm going to get some of my liquid glue, and I don't need a lot, so I'm being a little tedious with this, because we don't need it to be squirting out everywhere. And I want it to go like this. Oh, I guess I didn't take the dimensional covers off of my little label here. My little sentiment label. There we go. Oh, there we go. I love that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So pretty, that little flower. Very nice. I'm very happy with that. Okay. All right. On to our little double Z fold. I'm going to move this out of the way for the time being. Now I am using basic white cardstock for this. And I already have that part cut. I have 2 pieces. Okay. And so I was going to write it on here for you. So one is 4 and 1/4 by 11 inches. Okay. And it's going to get scored on the long edge at 2 3/4 inch and 5 1/2 inch. Okay. Then our smaller piece here, this one is 3 1/2 inch by 9 3/4 inch. Okay, and this one's going to get scored on the long side. Okay, at 2 3/4 inch and 5 1/2 inches. Okay, so so we're going to make 2 pieces that are a Z fold style. All right, so I'm just going to get my trimmer out, my extended arm, and we're going to do the 4 1/4 by 11 piece first. So the first score line is going to be at 2 3/4 inch. Okay, so move my cutter blade out of the way so we just have the score blade. And then the next one is at 5 1/2. I guess I didn't need this arm out, so I'm going to get rid of that. I didn't realize that. So the next score line is at 5 1/2. So we have that piece like so. All right. And just make sure 2 3/4. That's right. All right. So it's going to go like that. All right. That's what that's going to look like. All right. Now the smaller piece, that's 3 1/2 by 9 3/4. This also gets scored at 2 3/4. I'm just double checking all of my instructions, but yes, they get the same score marks. So 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, I probably am going to need my trimmer again, but let's go ahead and fold these and burnish them. Okay, so both are in that direction. And so they're going to be basically like that, is what I believe is going to happen. Okay. And so that when it closes like that. All right. And I know it's really hard to see at the moment, but you can see basically this is how it's going to go together. All right, so we are going to go ahead and set those aside. And for the, we're going to start with the larger panel. All right, and we are going to need, for that piece, we're going to need two pieces that are 2 1/4, or I'm sorry, for this one, we're going to need 2 times at 2 1/2 by 4 inches. Okay. And then I need so these should be 2 of the same. Okay. And then I need another one that is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay. So let's do that first. Now for this one, I thought I would like to try and use the box that we have from our kit. Okay, so I did cut one piece already. That is the 2 1/2 by 4, and it's going to go right on here. Now I do have like a little score line in it, but I'm not going to worry about that because I could wrap a little linen thread around it or whatever. We'll just have to see what I might want to do with that once we're assembling everything. So I need one more to go on this piece right here. And so I was going to show you what I did to get that. So for this one, I actually used the lid. Okay. And so I just cut on the inside of the score line here, like so. And then I trimmed off the edge here at the score line, just on the inside. All right, so now I have a flat side and I need 2 1/2 inches. All right, which is actually perfect because it is just the right piece for the lid of the box. And then I need 4 inches. And this is how I ended up with that little bitty score line, because it went right a little bit into, I guess you could see it better there, just a little bit into the flap part. Okay. And so that is that piece. All right. And I thought for these that we could do a little stamping on these 2 elements of the card. So I'm getting out my stamps and my block here. I was thinking we put that wreath on to here in a stamped off version. So I'm going to grab my little extra sheet here to just do a little stamping off. All right. And so I just thought we'd do a little bit of stamping on here. All right. So we're going to get ink on our stamp here. And I'm going to just stamp off. And then we're going to come on here and do the stamp. All right. So we're just going to add a few of these around here, because we're not going to, a lot of it is not going to show, okay, because we are making this Z fold and something's going to get put on top of it. So I think that's all I'm going to do on that one. Now this one I might do a little bit differently. Let's see here. So I recognize that the edges are what's going to show the most. And so I'm just doing a little stamping on in the areas that I think are going to show the most once we add the pieces on top. Okay. So I guess that doesn't really matter if I go this direction or not. But that way, whenever we add this over the top, okay, you're still seeing some of the images around the paper. Okay, so that was my thought process there. So those are the two pieces there. And then we need the 4" by 5 1/4. And I chose the red poinsettia DSP for that. So I've already cut that piece for that one. Okay. So now let's see what we need for the other piece. And so this one, we need a couple of pieces to cut. All right. And I think I'm going to use that red poinsettia again. And so I need one cut to 3 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I need 2 of them at 2 1/2 inch by 3 1/2 inches. Is that right? 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. Okay. And so I have to decide. So I think I already have my 3 1/4 by 4 inch of the poinsettia. I think I already have that piece. Okay. Now I need the 2 at 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. And so I have the other box, but I'm trying to decide, do I use this, or if I wanted, I could change this to be 2 inches by 3 inches, which would leave more white space around it, which could be done. It would just leave more white space around it. And then I could use the tag piece on here for one of these. And the other one, I thought I could bring in a different DSP piece. And I was just trying to grab this here to see which one would work. But I was thinking I might add this one on one of those. So use this for the inside panel, and then use this piece for the outside panel, instead of cutting up another box. Okay. So I need 2 pieces at 2 1/2, or I need one piece at 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. So let's see here. 2 1/2 by 1, 2, 3. Okay, that'll be good. Let's do that. Okay. And now I need 3 1/2 for that piece. All right. And we're going to trim this one down to 3 inches. And I wonder, maybe I'll keep my little flag portion and just trim there. And so those are their little pieces that we're going to add to the card base itself. So for example, if I move that out of the way, you can see this one's going to go here. This one's just going to go here by itself like that. And then this one, well, that doesn't work. How did I get this wrong? This needs to be 3 1/4 by 4. What did I write down? 3 1/4 by 4. What do I have here? So I do not have 3 1/4. No, that's this one. This one needs to be 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. So what do I have 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. That's not working. So something's wrong in my instructions. I just think I need to take off 1/4 of an inch here. And I think then it's going to work just fine. Nope, that's not going to work. All right. Oh, wait, wrong one. Yes, perfect. Perfect. So this right here needs to be 2 1/2 by 3 1/4, not 3 1/2. And I'm gonna make a little change right now on here as well, what I'm following. All right, so we have our pieces now that we're gonna put onto our card bases. So it's gonna go like that. And then these 2 pieces. And this is going to kind of go right on top of there. Oh, I think that's going to be nice. Very nice. All right, so we now need a couple of basic white pieces. And so we are going to have, you know what? This actually goes the other direction. I actually have this folded wrong. I didn't realize that. Actually goes this way. So that's going to go there. And then we have this one here and this one here, like that. All right, then we're going to have a white piece that's going to go here and a white piece that's going to go here on top of here. So we need to put a little bit of a sentiment on here. So I am looking for my stamps here, and I have sending a little Christmas cheer. I think I will put right on here. And over on the other one, let's see, we can use the with love. We'll put the with love over there. Okay. So let me just grab a couple of blocks for that. So there's our with love and sending Christmas cheer. And so let's go ahead and stamp these items right here. So we are going to be putting our little sentiment down here in this corner, like so. Just want to oh, pretty. Very pretty. All right, then the with love is going to go over here and this corner. Nice. All right, so those are going to go there like that. And we are going to use these beautiful die cuts from the DSP. We're going to add that one, and then we'll fussy cut another one of those poinsettias to add over here on this side. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to put our card bases together. What do you think? Oh, hey, Nicole, how are you today? Great to have you. All right, so we are going to put this down with some glue and go ahead and get these pieces adhered down like so. Okay. I was afraid that was going to be sliding all over the place because that's slick inside of the box, but it seems to be holding good. All right. And then we will have this one right here like that. Okay. And then this piece is going to go right here like so. All right. So I'm sure many of you have made a double Z folded card before. It's been a while since I've made one. But I really liked this layout. And I thought it would really work well with the pieces that we have to work with. Okay. All right. So let me move some of that off of here. And we'll put this one down first. I am in love with this DSP. This one's going to go right on top of here. And like so. Okay. Then we're going to add our little tag piece. It's going to go right at that spot. And I have to think about if we want to add anything else to this space or not, because we could, because I have my little wreath elements, right? I think they would fit here. Like I may not be able to use both of these because I think this piece here is too big for the space. I think it does it fit? Oh, it does fit. Huh. So we could literally add that right here. Just for some added interest on the inside of the card. That might be nice. That might be just right. I know. I haven't made one in a very long time, Nicole, and I've thought the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, why haven't I made one recently? I think I want that red poinsettia on the top. So just flipping that around a bit. Okay. All right. And then this piece is going to go right on top of here. Like that. All right, I'm going to hold off on that wreath at the moment because I want to make sure when I put this together that we get it all down in the right spots. Okay, so I always find it easier to go ahead and kind of put it together the way that it's supposed to be folded. And then you can like glue things down, right? So if I open this up like that, I can go ahead and put my glue right on here. Like so. flip it over just to make sure. There we go. Now that piece is getting pressed down, all right? And then we can do the top piece here. All right, so now we're gonna add some glue here. So it's gonna be in here. Like that. And that is the Z, the double Z in our card. All right. Ta-da. And that is how it opens up. And it actually lays flat, okay? Must have gotten some dirt on my, somehow I got marking there. Not hugely noticeable, but we're gonna keep going. So I do think I want to add my little wreath here. So I'm just gonna do a couple dabs of glue on here. I don't need this to be like tacked down for life. Just enough to get it to hold it in place, right? And I'm gonna put it like that. All right. Then I'm going to do what I had done earlier with some glue dots. I'm going to roll a few up and put them on to this wreath. Just to give it a little bit of dimension. Maybe one more. Just maybe one more. There we go. All right, so now we're going to add this little cuteness right on top of there, but it'll have those little balled up glue dots, so it'll have a little bit of dimension to it, okay, just a tiny bit. All right, and then we are going to fussy cut another one of these little poinsettia flowers out. On this one, I don't really care if it has a lot of white around it because we're putting it on a white background. Now, I don't want it to be massive amounts, but not as concerned about that. I wonder if you all have used this DSP and it's my first time using it, because I am in love with it. I just think it is so pretty. And I will say this, like, if you saw this online, it does not do it justice because it is way more beautiful in person. All right. So that little guy is going to go right here. Okay. And this one's going to go right on here. Now I'm going to go ahead and tack this one down with just some glue. So I don't want to have any more bulk. And this card's going to be a bit bulky as it is, with the layers already. So just being mindful of that. So that's what we have right there. And then this is going to close up. And so I wanted to do that before I add this one because I want to make sure I get it in the right spot. Now, one thing I am thinking about doing is adding some of the linen thread behind here, just to add a little more, but let me see what maybe we can use this little piece because I just feel like it needs something. All right, I just feel like it needs something. So we could have this on here like that. Like that, just a little bit of that sprig. As a matter of fact, I might cut this apart so we can have a little bit more coming out in other areas. So that we might have a little bit down here as well as up here. Let me put this down. Yep, I think so. We can stick those in with some glue. Now I am going to add the linen thread to the back of here. And so I'm going to do what I call a faux bow behind it. So let me just cut that off of there. And let me see if I can tell you. I cut off quite a bit. So a little over 20 inches. I just want to make sure I have plenty to work with. But I'm going to put this down and just come back over around, and then another loop here, and I'm going to go again, and I just keep tacking this down to my seal that I have here on the inside. Okay, so now I just have a little bit of linen thread that's going to be coming out from behind here. All right, this one's not long enough. I think it was the first one, so I can add more on this one. There we go. Perfect. So let me just show you a little bit closer. Like that's all I've done is gone back and forth with it, leaving it off the edge. So now I want to put some dimensionals on here. And of course, I want to put some over my twine or my linen thread just to make sure. And I don't want to go out too far because I want to make sure that I don't get beyond where this is going to lay. Okay. But now that's plenty stable for it. All right. So we're going to put this down. Take all these little dimensional covers off, like so. And we're going to just make sure our linen thread is laying down properly. All right. So now that's going to go like that. All right. And just going to move it around a little bit, get it in the right spots. Beautiful. And then we're going to add in our little sprigs. So I'm just going to, and I don't need all of this. I'm just trimming some of that off. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue at the bottom of here so I can stick this up under like so. So now we have a little bit coming out on this side. And then I think these are going to fit in just fine up here, but let me just check it out. I may need to trim some of this off. when you're adding things in behind, you know, you only need what you need, right? Like you can trim things down. I could probably just put that one in, but I do want this one added. All right. And so we're just going to go ahead and add this other one right in here. I'm getting caught on something. Do I not need all of this? Obviously, I don't need all of that even. All right, we're just getting things tidied up. Let me just make sure I have glue on the right parts because we should be good to go now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Get that off of there. And that off of here. This piece out of the way. All right, so that's what we have now for our card. And I'm so glad we added the linen thread. I just think it adds perfect amount of just fun to it. We have sending a little Christmas cheer with love. And we've used the box on here. We've used the little tag. We use the wreath. And we just brought in some cardstock and some DSP to coordinate. So I would love to know what you think about that. Yeah, you saw me keep trimming till you can get it in the right spot. Oh, that's fun. All right, so those are the cards that we have today. So we did this one, super simple. Just some card stock and a little DSP with, again, the tag. We used a tag and we used some of the elements. We use a little label and things like that. So really, really fun cards today. And I've been trying to think like what could we do like a 3D item, but you already have a box in the kit, so a box doesn't seem right. But I'll keep thinking of what we could do, like a little bit of 3D-ish item next week. So all right, everybody. Well, I am so glad that you joined me today. And I just want to say thank you again to everybody that partaked in the Black Friday fun. I had a great time sharing some good deals with my people. And I can't believe it's December tomorrow. I really cannot believe it's December tomorrow. So we have 10 days before the subscription period ends for the December paper pumpkin. So, and I believe tomorrow there is a really fabulous deal for Paper Pumpkin subscribers if you want to get prepaid options. So check those out. And I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend and a fabulous week ahead. Bye, everybody.